pushes him. He literally pushes him. Literally pushes him. Holy shit.
This thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
He's right. He's right. I mean, you're never going to get a deal. The way the Biden administration handled it, I think was just so... And the guy in chat who's like, nobody, they all side with Russia. Nobody will blame Russia. It's like, dog, that's all we've done. That's all our foreign policy has been for the since literally the 1950s. We blame Russia for everything. And now we actually have a president who is like, all right, I'm going to take you seriously. I'm going to treat you like a actual leader of a real country. And I want to sit down and be diplomatic with you and actually engage in diplomacy. Okay. Instead of how we did it the last 4 years, which was just basically ignoring it and saying, we're just going to fight you tooth and nail. Where did that get us? He's having to draft old men and women to fight his fucking war. I don't know if there's women, but he's having to use every single person to fight this war that there was really no way of him ever winning. The only way that they would actually be able to achieve anything is through diplomacy, through trying to find a compromise, because this is a losing war. Unless we want to break out into World War III, which I don't think anybody really wants, even though people act like it. I don't think anybody really wants that. The only way to really solve this is through diplomacy.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country.
Yeah.
The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden, of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's got his back.
Okay. So he occupied our big parts of Ukraine, parts of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but, yes. But
I wasn't on the scene yet.
2014 till
Trump wasn't
2022, yeah, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire, all of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media.
Look at this body language here. He's pissed. He's seething, and rightfully so. I mean, his country is being torn apart, but it's partially his fault that this is happening, right? Like, we've emboldened him. for the last 6 years to do this. Oh, well, we'll have your back. It's like, okay, well, we've sent billions and billions and billions of dollars over there. And has it actually turned the tide at all? It's kind of just halted it to a degree, but they're still pushing forward and they're still taking a lot of lives and taking cities. It just seems like a losing battle.
Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen.
Your cities are rubble,
stories,
bro.
And I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree?
He just wants us to come in and fight Russia. That's what he wants. He's sitting there thinking, why don't you send NATO in? He wants all this shit. He wants weapons. He wants nukes. He wants ICBMs. He wants all this shit because he just wants us to come do this. And it's like, no, dude, this would be a absolute disaster if we did that. It would be so costly. It would cost more than the freaking war in the Middle East. It would probably take forever. They'd probably get China involved. So many things would just could go awry, especially nuclear weapons on the table. Like, no, dude, you're crazy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about your country, but we cannot keep doing this. We have to figure out a solution here.
Agree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning. Sure. First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling.
Don't tell us how we're going to feel, you fucking idiot. Get the fuck out of here. You're coming here begging for our money. Don't tell us how we're going to feel. Exactly. Don't tell us how we're going to feel. You don't know that. What is he implying here? That somebody's going to invade us? China? Somebody? What is he saying here? Is that a threat?
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly
Yeah, no position. You're in the lesser position here.
To dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right.
We're going to feel very good and very strong. Whatever bullshit you're telling us we're going to feel, we're not going to feel it. He implies that Russia is an existentially negative force. I know. All these people, neocons in America of the 20th century has been trying to push that forever. They've wanted war with Russia forever. They want to say that Russia is always this looming threat. They're always going to take over. They're going to try and reignite the USSR. I don't think that's true. Russian power is a pure negative for everyone. There are, dude, that's the thing is that, it's not reality. They're not living reality. Russia already has immense power. What are you talking about? They've tried to work with us in the past. I think it was Bill Clinton or something. They tried to join NATO under Bill Clinton, under George Bush, I think it was too. And they just shot him down. They just don't even listen to him. No, because we need that. We need that. We need you on the table for potential war so we can make our money, right? I mean, we need to blame you.
Now, not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing cards.
Right now, you don't. You're playing cards.
You're playing cards, bud.
You're gambling.
And you're getting felted. You're looking at the table, bud.
You're gambling with World War III.
You got one chip.
You're gambling with World War III.
Yes.
And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
Yes.
That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you can...
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute.
Wait, whoa. He said he's not speaking loudly, you jackass. Let's see this again.
of the war. You
He's
can
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country's
Can I-
in big
can I-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country
You've
is
done
in
a lot of
big
talking.
trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn
We-
good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President.
He's right. He's right. You're not winning this, dude. We've been saying that for 6 years. You're not winning this. What do you but what do you want? What does he want? What does Zelenskyy want? He wants Daddy USA to come in and drop nukes on Moscow. That's not happening. Fuck that shit. That's not happening. That's a disaster for everybody else. But Zelenskyy, you gotta save my country. Russia, they're bad. They're big and bad. They're the USSR. Give me a break. You poked the bear. You poked the bear for the last 20 years, and then this is what you get.
Staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful.
And it's sad, but
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about West
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is
would've.
something
Less.
in 2 weeks. Of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said it a lot of
JD,
times.
just say
To
thank you.
American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
Yeah.
very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running low
I know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't, please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could
He's
get
got
a
no cards.
ceasefire
He's
right
right.
now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're
I
saying
said-
you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a
with
ceasefire.
guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
with
a
you.
guy named Biden who was not a smart person.
This
That
was your,
that
this
was
was
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you
Excuse
sheets,
me.
and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you
Gotta be
don't
more
have the
thanful.
cards. With us, you have
You're
the
felt
cards.
it, bud.
But without us, you don't have any cards.
Yep.
Question to Mr. Vice President.
You got to come here
It's going to be a tough deal.
and
to
you
make,
got to beg, dog.
because the attitudes have to change.
Yeah.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if
Yeah, not a good look. I mean, I'd like to see this. This back and forth is very fun to watch. But I think he's right. I mean, you got no cards, dude. You got nothing. You're done. Without us, you're done. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America, and for the good of the world. Preventing World War III, man. You have to engage in diplomacy. Isco Gurney says, maybe it's just me, but if you were a world leader coming here to ask for help, wouldn't you put on something other than sweats and an arrogant attitude? I don't feel like Zelenskyy was disrespectful. I don't think he was disrespectful, but I think the angle he's taking is like, I feel like you really have to, you got to be like kissing ass, dude. This is a whole new administration here. And to be acting like this is just going to go along as things have gone with the Biden administration, it's just not the case, clearly. I just think ultimately we just don't want war with these people. I am whatever the hell can get us not in a situation to where we're stoking the flames. That's what I want. What is that? What does that look like? And I don't think it's for putting more and more military on the border of Ukraine and Russia. I don't think that's the move. Vance went for the throat. Right, yeah. I mean, I think it was good backup. Better than Pence, right? Which we're about to see here in a second. I got a clip that juxtaposes it too. 2028 belongs to Vance. Yeah, he's shooting for that. He wants presidency in 28. He's going to get Trump's endorsement too, for sure. The results of the conflict in Ukraine was decades of fuckery by Western elites. This is how I see it. They intentionally push Putin in a corner. You don't push other world leaders in corners. They'll always result in conflict. Trump and JD are the first ones willing to talk and make peace with other world leaders. This is exactly what we need to prevent World War III. Yeah, I think this was exactly, it was NATO was posturing to try and get Ukraine into, they wanted to pull Ukraine into NATO, and they wanted to put long-range missiles on their border, on Russia's border. But they won't let Russia join. And let's not forget, NATO was created to be a counter to what, the Warsaw Pact, right? To Russia in the 20th century. Well, the USSR is no longer a thing, but NATO remains. We got to keep NATO. We got to keep Russia as an enemy, because that's basically what the reason why NATO is a thing at all, and why it's still around. But we've done this thing where we poked the bear for years, and Ukraine has been siding with the West, even though some of Ukraine, right, the eastern parts of Ukraine actually are Russian, ethnic Russians, and they actually, did they not vote on wanting to go back to Russia and rejoin Russia? And we've done this kind of for years, and then we expect Russia won't do anything. Russia's not going to do anything. Ha 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 ha. Russia's not going to do anything, right? And then Russia does something, and everybody's like, "Hey, you guys are the bad guys. Hey, Putin's a mean guy. You shouldn't have done that." We would have done the same shit, man. If China would have put missiles in Cuba, we would have freaked the fuck out. We would have sent mercenaries there yesterday. So fast. These are world powers, man. These are world powers here that we're talking about. But we want to act like Russia, we're big bro in Russia, and saying just do what we want. Give me a break. Zelenskyy said Vance didn't know what he was talking about. Richard in chat says that's true. He did act like Vance can't have an opinion because he hasn't been there. But he also asked for his opinion to begin with. Yeah, I don't know. Who needs to go there? We don't need to go there. We see the shit that's going on, dude. So then we got Autism Capital. Autism Capital here says, why don't you wear a suit? Brian Glenn, I guess, asked him why he doesn't wear a suit. And Brian Glenn, I saw, is he dating Marjorie Taylor Greene? Is that Marjorie Taylor Greene's hubby, boyfriend, whatever? I don't know.
So what was your second question?
And my second question for President Zelenskyy: why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest. Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see people. Do you own a suit?
Yeah.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not
own a suit?
respecting the dignity of this office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe one.
Maybe something like this.
Something like yours.
sir.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper than. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was just honestly kind of disrespectful, kind of a humiliation thing for him. He looks like shit too. He looks like he's about to cry. Why do you look like a bum? That's what he asked him. Why do you look like a bum?
Wear a suit. Just want to see people. Do you own a suit?
Do you own a suit? Do you own a suit? Yeah, of course this dude does. He's getting billions of dollars of our money. Of course he's got enough money to buy a suit. Richard says, I'm pro-Russia, but this dogging on Zelenskyy in front of our media and country feels embarrassing. It does. It is a little embarrassing. I mean, that question right there was a little much, I think. Like, they're kind of just trolling it. Look at this. Look at the smile. Trump's just trolling the shit out of him. Maybe it's a tactic. I don't know. Maybe he wants to posture and I don't know. Maybe is it for Putin? I don't know. Is it for him to let him know, hey, this isn't gonna fly anymore? The way the Biden administration treated you, we're not gonna treat you that way. You gotta take a deal. I don't know. But I think this is kind of what people want to see. They want to see Trump act like this. They want to see him be a hardened businessman.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not respecting the dignity of this office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
That's a good response. I will wear a costume. Elon Musk dresses like a teenager in half-clean clothes and trucker hats when he goes to the Oval. True. That's true. That question was a little much, the suit one. I mean, the guy, look, this is a costume too. Let's be honest. I mean, he's trying to be like, I'm in my, what is this, like military garb? I don't even know. He's trying to be like, we're focused. I'm not wearing no suit. What the fuck? What the fuck is that? Is that real? Oh yeah, then we got John Fetterman's bum ass. He just wears a hoodie everywhere. Dude, the ogre. The ogre aesthetic. Like, I get it. I get feeling like I feel bad for Ukraine too. Don't get me wrong. But I just think that the way they've gone about it is completely all wrong. Like, I don't think sitting here and sending your men into the meat grinder is the move. I think you have to work out a deal here, and something's going to happen. Richard in chat says, man, that's the only thing I like about Fetterman. that he goes full ogre mode everywhere he goes. It is kind of like his thing now. So like you can do that kind of shit when it's like, you make it your thing. You could do that kind of stuff. Apparently, AF Post says Zelensky called JD Vance a bitch in Ukrainian. Suka bliat.
You should be thanking the president for trying to bring it into this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine? Did you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems? You should be thanking the president.
Zelensky kind of mogs him there, and then he tries to redirect. Zelensky's like, "You haven't even been there, bitch." And then he goes, no, you got problems, man. You got big problems, man.
Do you disagree that you've had problems?
Do you disagree you have problems? The dude's like, I'm getting fucking face fucked by Russia. Astronomically rare Zelensky W. Fuck Fat Boy Vance. Yo. Suka also means fuck. Like, what the fuck? This might sum it up here, boys. I'd love to see him talk to this guy, like he did to Zelensky. That would be awesome. Because it's a similar situation, honestly. I just think the general tone, though, is poggers. It's just poggers. I think Americans we need to start standing up for ourselves a little more. And I think that's what people voted for with Trump. Oh, and apparently, I spoiled it. Spoiler. Apparently they got into fisticuffs. This was after. That was right after the media clip we just watched. They got into it. My grandpa will see this and think it's real. Oh. Dude, AI is crazy. The next 4 years are going to be crazy, boys. It's going to be so fun. I'm already having fun with it. So we got Jean-Francois Gariepi. He says, why can't we have this session with Trump and Vance telling exactly those things to Netanyahu? I know. I agree. We need to tell this to every fucking world leader that we're giving billions and billions of dollars on the American taxpayers' dime, by the way. We need to tell all these people that, hey, if you don't straighten up, get the fuck out of here. We're not going to help you anymore. Everybody needs to be like, Netanyahu needs to come in and be like, what? Wait, what? You're not going to give me money? No, idiot. We're not going to give you anything. BB has the tapes. Yeah. Now we got Keith Woods. He says, I actually think Zelensky has proven himself to be a talented statesman up to now. And when I saw the exchange with Trump and Vance, I assumed this was planned stunt by Trump. Another way to publicly put Zelensky on the back foot as a negotiating tactic. I think that is actually what it is. But then I watched what came before the argument, and it was pretty standard stuff until Zelensky interrupted to lecture Vance after he said something that left the door open to negotiating with Putin. Starting that argument there in a language he still struggles with inside the Oval Office at a time when Trump admin is turning him into a scapegoat for mishandling the war is just a bafflingly bad decision. I really don't know what he was thinking. Yeah, Ukrainian diplomats watching years of work be undone by a guy in a tracksuit.
What they think.
Of
course we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want to cease
But I
fire?
said to you,
I want to cease
with
fire.
guarantees.
Because you get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people.
Oh no. Cokehead. Does he do coke? I don't even know. This is the second time I've seen this. This DC coke is shit, right? Why do people is he even outed as a cokehead? Does anybody know? And Paul Scalise, we're a fan. If you don't follow Lindy Man, Mr. Paul Scalise, go do it. He's great. He's wonderful. He says, Zelensky really said you're protected by the oceans, but when the Chinese land their troops on your coast, you're not going to know how to handle it. Which is, I think, is a load of bull. I think we'll have a hell of a time. I think we'll have a fun time dealing with it. You got community noted. He says community notes is an utter failure. Community note says, sure, first of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have a nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future.
Kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually
got mom
watched
there.
and seen.
I've
the
been
stories,
to,
and I know what happens is you bring people, you bring them on a propaganda
Sukabliata.
tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have
and do you think that it's
I
respectful
will answer.
to come to the Oval Office
I
of the
will
United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't know
God
that.
bless. You
Don't-
will not
you
have
gotta-
a war.
Don't tell us what
Vance
we're gonna
says,
feel.
talk
We're
to the
trying
hand.
to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
I'm not
You're
dictating.
in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
That
We're
face.
going to feel very
You will
good.
feel influence.
We're going to feel
I'm-
very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From
it.
the very beginning of the war.
I mean, what is Zelensky even really saying here? Is he saying that if we don't give him billions and billions of dollars of aid and start nuking Russia, Russia's gonna invade us? Like we live in a listen. America is not the hyperpower that it used to be. We do live in a multipolar world, and we have to kind of treat the world in a different way than we did 50 years ago. We're not the top dog. China's making their moves. Russia's making their moves. We have to be diplomatic with these people to avoid all-out conflict. So I don't know what he's saying. Like, oh no, just start big broing them. Just start big dogging them. Start putting nukes on their border and tell them to fuck off. That's not going to work. That's going to turn out to be a losing message, a losing move. I think he's saying he doesn't want to try diplomacy. I know. That's what he's saying. He's saying he doesn't want. He just wants to keep things going as they're going, and then he's going to want us to send our troops there to the border because he's going to be running out of people, and so he's going to be like, who's going to help me? Germany, U.S., NATO, help me. AA990 in chat says needs to go back to playing piano with his PP. Maybe. But anyways, let's see what Destiny has to say here. Let's go full screen. We'll go down here so you guys can see this guy's beautiful face.
But my understanding and the thing that matters to me more than the broader context is the million people in the dirt, dude. A million fucking conscripts in the dirt.
That's fine, okay? But when you care about things like dead people, you're coming from the West, where that's like the most important thing to care about, right? Like just whether or not somebody's.
Wait. I don't know what he's going to say here, but is he going to say that people are not the most important thing here? The deaths are not the most important thing. What big brain take is Destiny going to pull out of his ass this time? With his hands on his head. Oh, you're so stupid. Lives aren't the biggest thing. That's such a Western way to think about it. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Let's see.
Alive or dead is like the most important thing to care about. Okay, that's all that matters,
Yeah.
because you have a country, you have a narrative, you have a story, you've got a government, you've got all these things that are working for you. Okay, and now all you have to think about is like, okay, well, am I going to die or am I going to live, or is this person going to die or live? And that's it. Okay, when you look at, and there's broader narratives here that even I don't understand because I'm not a part of it, because I don't have that lived experience. So I'm very, very, very loosely going by what people say. Okay, but Eastern Europe has fought for legitimacy. Places like Poland have fought for legitimacy to be included in the Western world for decades. Okay, this idea of breaking from the Soviet Union, of being your own country. Like, we are a people. We are more than just foreign fucking workers for British people. We're more than just temporary visa stays, to work in the summer and then go back to our shitty Eastern European countries. Like, we want to fight our corruption. We want to join the rest of the world. We want to be real countries with real people that are free.
All these things require you to have a life, okay, to be living, to do these things. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's the most fundamental thing, that if you're dead, hey, there's no question about being a worker or being included into the Western world, because guess what? You have no cities. You're just a fucking field now. And everybody's dead. You don't have a country anymore. What is he talking about?
Of like corrupt and crazy leaders and bureaucrats that are trying to fuck us over constantly. Like we're trying to become a thing, okay? And Ukraine
That's
has
the
been
second
historically a country
level.
that's had a lot of issues with corruption and a lot of issues with trying to break from that stereotype of Eastern European destitution. And they were on the path to doing that. And they had a leader who was, you know, the populist support was, hey, we're finally going to have access to European markets. We're finally going to make a deal with the European Union. We're finally moving in that direction. And then they had a leader who was like, actually, no, we're going to go back to Russia, get fucked. And as a result of like all the protests and all of the riots and all of this, they have their huge 2014 Euromaidan. And basically what they see in front of them is, oh, it's business as usual. Here comes Russia, there goes Crimea, and now we're back in this world where we're going to be subjugated by Russia. We're not a Western country. We're not even a real country. We're a group of fucking losers who nobody else in the rest of the world wants to help or do anything for. Obama's not doing fuck all for us. Europe isn't doing fuck all for us, and now Russia's fucking with our shit again. And this is a group of people who desperately want their own country, and they want to have a country that they can be a part of, that they can be proud of, that they can have a narrative and a place on the world stage, who slowly see themselves being eaten and consumed by the
What
Soviet
even is the Ukrainian history? Isn't it all mostly Russian history? What are you talking about, dude? Like, aren't most of them ethnic Russians? So this whole like history of being yourself, being your own thing, like, what are you talking about? That Russia is your thing. Russia is your daddy, bro. Lay off the caffeine, dude. Right? Lay off the Adderall, bro.
Union again. So to look at those people and go like, well, isn't it bad? Like a lot of you guys have died. You should just make peace. Like that's easy to say as an American with your own country, your own government, your own elected leaders. You have a story. You have all of that. That's a completely separate thing to look at Ukrainians who are bleeding away whole sections of their country while the rest of the world stands by and watches. And they'd be like, shouldn't you guys just stop because there's so many of you dying? Like, do you understand how horrible that is? Like, it's such a Western take. Not to say that death is good, but there's something more at play here. There has to be something more at play.
Yeah, but all that relies on their people alive, dude. What are you talking about? Nobody gives a fuck about Ukraine if it's just a fucking field and there's nothing. There's no culture, no history, no architecture, no people. Dude, what are you talking about? Oh, thinking about the people, that's just so Western. That's just so small-brained. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? That's everything. People are everything. What the fuck are you smoking, bro?
Than just some people dying, because that's what's moved nations and peoples is more than just like a concern for an individual or even just your family or even just your neighborhood. It's like this cause
it's a country,
right?
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, what's up?
And I'm not even lying to you.
Mm-hmm.
That was incredibly moving and well done.
Yes. Oh.
Thanks,
I
Ukrainian.
No. Well, no. Like, here's the thing.
Oh,
maybe I'm.
There's the caffeine. You were right in chat. A990. You're right in chat. He's a little too hyped up.
Like, it's not. Your kind of implication that the other end, that my end of this must be I don't support Ukrainians is where we have a fundamental disagreement or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but. That was well done.
I know that you're not like anti-Ukrainian, and you said that you don't support Russia, so I agree with you. I think sometimes in the West, I think we take for granted all the things that we have, and then we just assume that everybody else has these like same larger narratives and everything, and they just want to like not have as many people die for a thing. And it's hard in America. It's really hard to imagine wanting to die for a thing, because for the most part, like things are pretty good over here. Like, fuck, I don't want to die for anything right now. Like that's a pretty tall order. But given like a different set of circumstances, maybe.
I don't know, man. This is an older take. This is from 2024. But like, how can you sit there and be like, it's not about people, it's not about lives lost? Because if every Ukrainian is just decimated, then what the hell are you talking about? What are we talking about here? If it's just Zelenskyy who's the only Ukrainian alive, then none of this matters. Okay, people matter, dude. I think that was kind of Vance's point when he said Z was having recruitment problems. Yeah. You're running out of people. You're going to end up nothing. You're going to be cast away into oblivion if you don't figure something out soon. And we're not going to go there and send our troops to the border. The Ukrainian men don't want to die for this war. I don't think they do either. I think a lot of them want to be. Don't a lot of the Eastern people in eastern Ukraine, don't they want to be part of Russia? Don't they want to be? Don't they want to be part of the Russian Federation again? Somebody in chat, let me know if you know that. So this was a juxtaposing two clips between the Zelenskyy and Trump thing that just happened, and then back in his first term when he had Mike Pence, his bum ass, he didn't basically do anything. He basically just slept the whole time.
In their lives.
One thing I think we can agree on is we shouldn't shut down the government over a dispute. And you want to shut it down. You keep talking about
The
it.
last time, Chuck, you shut it down.
No.
And then you opened
20
it up very
times.
quickly. And
20
I don't
times.
want to do what you did.
20 times you
Chuck.
have called for, I will shut down the government if I don't get my wool. None of us have said.
You want to know something?
You've said
okay,
it.
you want to put that on
You've
my...
said it.
I'll take it.
Okay, good.
You know what
I'll
I'll
take-
say?
I'll take the
Yes. If we don't get what we want, one way or the other, whether it's through you, through a military, through anything you want to call, I will shut down the government.
Okay, fair
Absolutely.
enough.
And
We
I am
disagree.
proud, and I'll
We
tell you what,
disagree.
I am proud to shut down the government for border security, Chuck, because the people of
Chuck
this
Schumer is
country
such a slimy
don't want
pimp.
criminals and people that have lots of problems and drugs pouring into our countries.
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens.
What does it
is you
matter?
bring people, you bring
That's
them
the
on a
point I don't get. What's the point he's trying to make here? Well, you haven't seen all the rubble and destruction, so you don't know what's going on. Like what?
propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have
and do you think that it's respectful
I will answer.
to come to the Oval Office of the United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war,
We saw this already, but it's just to juxtapose kind of how he's acting, and he's kind of backing up Trump versus how Pence just kind of sat there like a houseplant, saying nothing, like he basically did the whole administration. Paul says, Vance is sharp and strong. Pence was useless. Pence was useless. Vance is kind of meh, but still, he's doing a little better backing him up than Pence did. Pussy Pence. Pussy Pence. There's Pussy Pence just sitting there doing nothing. Houseplant Pence. Betsy Baggins in chat says, in general, the U.S. does not get involved in other nations' wars without having some interest. True. Trump trying to do a deal with Ukraine for minerals gives us a reason to care more. Yeah. I get that. If we're not getting something out of it, why the hell should we care? Yes, some of southeastern Ukraine does feel more Russian. Yeah, I thought, didn't they have like a whole referendum, and didn't like most of the people in those regions vote to be part of Russia? Just a stark difference between the two. I mean, literally does nothing.
Government over a dispute.
Bro literally just sleeping. He's literally just sitting here.
And you want to
And
20
I don't
times.
want to put the...
What's
What's
he doing?
None of us have
You
said.
want to know something?
You've said
okay,
it.
you want to put that on
You've
my...
said it.
I'll take it.
Okay, good.
You know what I'll say?
And then
Yes.
Vance actually
Bringing people into
saying
the
something.
military?
we have
Just a difference. Now we got Nick Fuentes here, leader of the Groypers in America First, the America First show. He has comments to say about JD, and maybe you guys can tell me what you think. If he's not happy with JD. I know he doesn't like him. I know he thinks he's fat boy JD Vance, and I'm skeptical of him as well. I like he's from Ohio. Hey. Ohio proud, let's get another, in some sense I think, hey, let's get another Ohio president. We got a bunch, let's get another one, repping Ohio. But let's see what he has to say.
Trump. Everybody was praising Vance. Vance was the weaker of the two.
Sure.
Trump
He
was
should be.
awesome. Vance was typical of fucking idiot. The first thing he said didn't make any sense. Like I said, just sort of rummaging around the grab bag. Oh, you're forcing conscription. That then found the right thing to say. That was the right thing to say, which is let's not litigate this. Zelenskyy comes back and says, well, have you ever even been there? That's a challenge.
Yeah.
If the other one wasn't, that was a challenge. And Vance comes back and says,
No, I haven't, but
he goes, well, I've read the reports.
Yeah.
I've
Not a
read
good look.
reports. You sound like an idiot.
yeah, that was
Then
not
he
good
comes
look.
back and he says, well, Mr. President, yeah, I see. Well, when people go there, you take them on a propaganda tour. Another right-wing talking point. Then he says, you're attacking the administration that's trying to help you. And, well, you know, you haven't said thank you. You should be grateful, and just throwing all this stuff out there. And then Zelensky says, all right, look. He goes, let's back this up. He said, well, let's take it one thing at a time. He goes, in the first place, the United States has oceans to defend itself. You're not feeling it, but you will feel it. That's when Trump comes in.
Yeah.
And Trump goes, you don't tell us how we're going to feel. We're not going to feel anything. We're going to feel strong. We're going to
feel great.
To tell us that because you don't hold the cards. We hold the cards. And then Zelensky said, well, we're not playing cards. What an ass. What a jagoff. What a fucking jagoff thing to say.
Honestly, yeah, you're playing cards, you idiot.
Don't tell us how to feel. We're going to feel great. You don't get to say that because we're holding the cards, not you. And Zelensky goes, well, we're not playing cards. And Trump goes, and that's when Trump saw red. And if you saw, that's when Trump flipped out. You're playing cards and you're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
Yeah.
Zelensky keeps trying to talk over him. And
yeah.
He's like, you know, Zelensky's not going to back down and let Trump walk over him. And Trump starts slapping him in the arm.
Yeah, he did. He did. He like,
grabs him by the arm and then really grabs him. And just screaming, you're gambling with World War III. You are losing. Without us, you're nothing. All this kind of stuff. He didn't say that specifically, but. And literally furious, screaming, putting his finger in his face, pointing in his face, grabbing his arm.
You don't hold the cards.
And then goes, well, you know what? I'm just glad everybody got to see that. Because he said, and that's why I dragged this out so long so people could see, and that's when they threw him out, and that's when it was over.
I agree. It's kind of what I said too. Is you know, he acted very. He did act kind of cucked. He did act very cucked when.
Now, but you will feel it the beginning.
Sure.
First of all,
prevent the destruction of your country.
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all,
respectful to come to the Oval Office.
He says,
do you disagree that you've had to bring people? You bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President.
He did say the propaganda
thing. Do you disagree that you've had problems?
And he switches it up when he's like, you've never been there. He's like, did you disagree? You have problems bringing, like, he completely is like, oh fuck, you know, oh fuck, I haven't been there. But who gives a fuck? Because you don't really need to be there to see what's going on. I mean, come on. He's got some mad intelligence. We can see the clips online. We know what the fuck's going on, dude. You're getting rolled. But it still is a pussy ass position that he's in, because he's like, you never even been there, and it's just like he switches it up and says, you got problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions.
And Trump's
Let's
gearing
start
up.
from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now.
Which is
but
true.
You will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't know that.
You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
Remember
You're in
this.
no position
Remember this.
to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
We're going to feel very good.
Very strong.
Yes, we will feel very
You're
good.
right now not in a very good position.
You're not.
You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about
From the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Graham,
position.
I
You don't
was
have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards.
cards.
Right now, you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
He's right. What he said. Is it maybe it's just an English barrier or a language barrier? Maybe he's like, cards. We're not playing cards. This is war. What are you talking about?
You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
What are you speaking about?
What you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to
respect to
you.
your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire
today.
meeting, you said thank you.
Have you said thank you
You went to
once?
Pennsylvania and
Hey,
campaigned
bum.
for the
Have
opposition
you said thank
in
you
October.
once?
Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save
He's a comedian,
your
yeah.
country.
Please.
Please.
You think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can.
not speaking loudly.
He's not speaking loudly.
Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No.
Can
You've
I
done a
answer?
lot of talking.
No.
Your
You've
country
done enough
is
talking.
in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank you.
president.
Yeah, he's literally like grabbing his arm, like poking him.
Military equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about
If you didn't have
You
our,
invited-
He literally pushes him. He literally pushes him. He literally pushes him. Holy shit.
Our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
I heard
In
that
3
in
days.
3 days.
In 3
Maybe
days.
less.
In
I've
2
had it.
weeks. Of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of
JD's
times.
like, just say thank you.
Accept
Just say
that there are
thank you.
disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American
But you
people
see-
to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long.
This is
You
like
have to be thankful.
this is like classic Trump right here. How he's acting. Like you kind of put him in a corner here. You kind of give him riled up, and he's like, he just goes crazy. Yeah, he sees red. Like it's fucking epic.
Have the
Dude.
cards.
Thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't
you're
please,
running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn.
Betsy says, Richard, Vance should have said, no, I have been to Ukraine. Putin told us it's a mess. See, that's the instinct. Trump would have said something like that. But Vance doesn't have that kind of quick wit. He would have said, Trump would have said something like that, Putin told us it's a mess, right? It's disgraceful what's happening, right? He would have gone into the whole tirade about, I don't need to see it. I see it every day, right? And then, but Vance lacks that kind of wit.
Damn good thing.
Mr.
And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and
Yeah.
your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a
but I
ceasefire.
said-
And then we get the Groypers. This is JD Vance is a bitch. Yeah, they don't like him. They don't like him one bit. He's a protege of Peter Thiel. They don't like that. Chode boy Vance. I agree. Vance is a weak leader. He will turn on Trump when shit hits the fan. Maybe. We'll see. Like Nick does 24/7. Yo, he didn't vote for him. He did not vote for Trump. He did not endorse him at all. Funny you say that. Yeah, live on Rumble talking about why you shouldn't vote for Trump. Earlier, Trump said things to Z about what bad shape Ukraine was in, and Zelensky said it's not that bad. Putin told you that. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've seen the clips, bud. I've seen the clips. I've seen the live leaks. Pure theater. Yeah, it kind of was. It kind of was a little bit of theater, but I don't know. American people, we like it. It's fun. It's content. Marxist Lynchist on X says, watching JD Vance try and fail to act tough is so fucking painful, bro. I wish his fat ass got into his mom's pills as a kid and died. Wow, dude. Wow. That's pretty savage. Yikes. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think JD kind of stumbled there, when he kind of accused him. When he accused him of, you've never even been there, and he just kind of was like, AA990 in chat says, it kept your mind off of Epstein. True. Well, it didn't completely. There was a clip I was going to watch of Mr. Moist, Mr. Critical, talking about the Epstein files, because where the hell are those? Tess says, if he was my son, I'd do crack too. Oh my gosh. Fatboy Vance getting rolled in the fucking comments. Don't even blame his mom for trying to trade him for a pack of perks. If I had a kid who looked like the first one to die on a tour of a chocolate factory, I'd want to get rid of him too. Yikes, dude. This is brutal. These people are brutal. It really feels like when the awkward kid gets a trace of acceptance and then starts bullying anyone he can. Yeah. Dude, I hope JD Vance sees this. I hope he sees this. That'd be so funny. You scroll into TL and he just sees these pictures. That would wear away at my mental. I hope Trump sends it to him. Yeah. He's like, hey, look at this shit. So anyways, we had Elon Musk. He retweeted this Lindsey Graham, who is a bloodsucking neocon. We got his take on it and what he wants to do with Russia. So we're trying to get kind of a full spectrum of people here with their takes on it. We got Destiny's, we got Keith's, JF spoke briefly. Nick. Now we're going to look at what kind of a neocon in charge, what he thinks about it.
All right. So, what I think? Complete, utter disaster. I've been to Ukraine 8 or 9 times since the war started. I understand the consequences of Putin's actions against Ukraine. I appreciate what the Ukrainian people have done. They fought like tigers. At the end of the day, I was hoping that this minerals deal, which would be transformative in the relationship, would go over well. I talked to Zelenskyy this morning. Don't take the bait. President Trump was in a very good mood last night. Somebody asked me, am I embarrassed about Trump? I have never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of J.D. Vance, standing up for our country. We want to be helpful. What I saw in the Oval Office was disrespectful, and I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelenskyy again.
Whoa.
I think most Americans saw a guy that they would not want to go in business with. The way he handled the meeting, the way he confronted the president was just over the top. So I think the relationship between Ukraine and America is important, vitally important. But can Zelenskyy do a deal with the United States? After what I saw, I don't know.
Was this a plan all along to do this? Was this the plan all along to come in and frame it this way and to say Zelensky's disrespectful? Was it the plan all along to kind of poke and prod at him to get him kind of riled up? Then we can come out and say, the American people, look at this guy. He doesn't want to work with us. He's a maniac. He's a crazy person. So then now we can go to Putin and do a deal with him. Maybe that's the tactic here. To put this all on display, the bread and circuses on display for the people to say, look how crazy this guy is. We're gonna make a deal with Putin to get this war over with, and we're gonna help Putin. Richard in chat says this was definitely a setup. Isn't Putin coming like next week? I'm not sure. Is he? Well, if he is, that would track. That would track 4D chess. Yeah, maybe. They all got on board with it, and they said.
He was shocked. He was very upbeat. I told Zelenskyy, we'll talk about security guarantees. We'll talk about ceasefires and how the war ends. This is a process. You have a new relationship with America, a $500 billion, $500 billion deal that President Trump is proud of, that gives us an interest worth defending. Let's talk about the positive. But he was terrible at Munich, Zelenskyy, and I think he has made it almost impossible to sell to the American people that he's a good investment, that he is a good business.
I think this is probably the game plan all along. It's like everybody got on board. They're like, let's just throw this dude on the bus and say it was terrible and he was an asshole. And then when Putin comes, Putin will be glowing and everybody will be like, look how good Putin is. He's such a nice diplomatic leader. He just wants the war to end too. And then we'll figure something out. I don't give a fuck. I don't really give a shit. Okay. I just want this shit to end, and I don't want us to be sending our tax dollars over there, and I don't want us to be sending our people over there, okay? Because that's eventually where it's going to go.
Last question. Senator Graham. Hey, one at a time. One at a time. Christian Daytop. Senator Graham, thank you. Do you think President Zelenskyy needs to resign to resume these peace talks?
He either needs to resign and send somebody over that we can do business with, or he needs to.
I'm going to answer that phone.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's the game plan there? Is that what that being the last question, that's the game plan, I'm assuming, is that they want regime change. They want another leader in there who will probably be more pro-Russia, or at least more open to doing deals with Russia. And they probably, this administration's priority already has somebody handpicked. We want this guy. I don't know who it is. They're going to pull him out of their ass. We want Yuri. We want this guy to be leader. He should take over. And then Zelensky's out. Yuri's in. And Yuri's like, yeah, we can do a bunch of deals with you guys. We'll do the mineral deal. We'll do this. We'll do that. We'll stop the fighting. And these people will make billions of dollars, and it'll be seen as a dub for Trump because it's diplomacy and the war's over. That could be it. I mean, it's a new administration. Zelensky should expect a new policy, but they didn't have to swirly him in a toilet in front of everybody. Yeah, but then we wouldn't be here covering it. It wouldn't be content. What do you mean? Every dog has his day. It makes me uncomfortable when someone is disrespected. Yeah, I can see that too a little bit, you know. I don't trust Lindsay ever. He's a snake. Yeah, I do too. And that's why, like, it is weird to see him kind of be on the same side as Trump, because I feel like normally he's not. He's a neocon shill who wants war. So whatever he's got in mind, he's making money off of it, or there's war down the line that he can make money off of. I don't know. We'll have to see how this pans out. Everybody needs to keep a close eye on how this pans out, because it doesn't, you know, I like Trump, but Republican, Democrat, it's not, everybody's in it for their own interest. And if this guy's coming out there saying, yeah, what Trump did was right, we need to, and he's on the same side, there's got to be something there. There's got to be something there, you know? And we got to keep our eyes open. We cannot be deceived again like we did with the Iraq war, right? In 2003. We got Bartleby saying, in this thread we will post black people understanding Trump better than the highest paid political pundits. And so we got Base Savage saying Trump was talking to Zelensky like they did at a dice game. Imagine someone help you out at work, then his replacement comes in and says you got to thank him. I know Zelensky not trying to crash. This is Zelensky. Then you got JD with the main character syndrome. This might be the most astute political observations yet. Greatest president I've ever seen.
With the W-9 and the W-2, how do I file the W-9 with the W-9?
Zelensky was bullshitting Trump, invited him to the dice game. This N-word tried to use his own dice, and when Trump said no, he's setting the motherfuckers down instead of rolling. He's lucky Trump didn't pull out the strap. That's right. That's exactly what happened. America ain't getting dunked on no more. True. Yep. We're not getting postered anymore. We're not getting put on a screensaver anymore. They were clowning bros fit.
Second question, why don't you wear a suit?
Why don't you wear a suit, you
Why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if do you own a suit?
Yeah, you have problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not
Really?
respecting
I don't have
the
such.
office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes. Maybe.
Yo, look at Rubio. He looks like he's, look at this. Look at this. Covering. JD's got his cock showing. He's confident. He doesn't give a shit. Marco, very, very cucked position. He's in very beta position. He's upset. He doesn't know what to say. He doesn't know what to do. Look, are his feet hanging off the ground? Are his feet floating? Is he even is he floating on the couch? Can he swing his legs around? Holy shit. Little Marco. Trump acting like 50 Cent. Many men wish death upon me. Blood in my eyes, dog, and I can't see. That song goes so hard. We got this post. This is why you can't borrow money from people. They're trying to big bro him.
Talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong,
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's just.
They're trying, but the thing is, they're trying to little bro Russia. They're trying to make. He wants U.S. to little bro Russia instead of him. This tweet got me screaming. Y'all motherfuckers are dumb as fuck. Dude, this ratio is crazy. Bullying in front of the world. There was definitely stuff going on before this. Marco Rubio said that Zelensky came saying he was ready to sign the agreement and he wasn't. Oh, okay, yeah. They probably went into it kind of charged from that. I don't know. I didn't see the before stuff. They did have a long bit of questioning even before this happened. He got in front of the cameras and it changed. Oh, okay. My first impression was Trump seemed embarrassing to me. I almost cried. Trump should have blew his shit back. I'm a white boomer and this is epic. Respect, sir. Respect. As someone who's never played dice, I both understood and didn't understand this entire tweet. Amazing. I understood it. This dude's trying to he's trying to rig this shit. Fuck that. Pull out a gun. Wasm says urban black people understand Hobbesian social thought better than most because Hobbesian social thought is how life is in the ghetto. Yes, you're in a constant state of nature. You're in a constant state of nature in the ghetto. They get it. So when it comes to shit like what Trump did to Zelenskyy, you will not find a better commentary than from the N-words. Yes, let's regress and get ghetto and even more third world. Yes, let's do it. Maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need a third world president to put these people in their place. Maybe we need the ghetto Trump to come in and pull out the gat.
You see the way Trump talks to Zelenskyy? That's what we've been missing. That's what I voted for. That's what I've been looking for. Somebody talking with their chin. Who you talking to?
Yeah.
This is America. You better be humble when you walk up in here, making demands. Who you think you talking to? This big Trump and big Vance. And I like how Vance stepped right in. Trump sat back like a G. Trump came in. No, I got this. I got this, big homie.
I got this, big homie.
Hey, bro, you need to check yourself. We're doing you a favor. The United States does not need Ukraine. We can sit back and let Russia destroy y'all.
It's like fucking D-Way to LeBron, right? This one's for the brothers. This one's for the brothers.
But it goes to Wade. He has Arroyo in front.
D-Way to LeBron! Vance to Trump!
And don't come up with
Yup.
Really hasn't been together, especially some of the key pieces.
This one's for the brothers.
D-Wade
up. LeBron! It's good!
LeBron trumps the anvil.
Yup, that's what it was. This is JD. That's what it was on the surface. Now we understand there's more to it than that, as we've been talking about. But on the surface, that's kind of what it was. Yeah. Hey, Tone. Hey, Tone. What's the deal with the aid to the Ukraine? We got drama alert here. We got all these people saying Zelenskyy is our hero outside the Tesla dealership. Yikes, dude. Would you work at a Tesla dealership? I wouldn't. These people would be firebombing you. They're going to be very soon. What did that say? What's that sign say? Send Musk back to outer space. So are these people for deportations? We only want to deport people that we deem are bad. We only want people to turn around and face the wall when we deem they're bad. Can someone explain this in Fortnite terms? Yeah, let's see. A bunch of people that never played Fortnite and never intended to play have an opinion about the game. They don't care that Zelenskyy wants to drag us into a war with Russia because they'll never go to the front lines. True. It's true. Will any of these people go to the front lines to fight Russia? This lady off the bat is like 60 years old. She ain't doing shit. She's going to die. Her kids will, but she ain't doing shit and she doesn't care about her. Actually, she probably doesn't even have kids. But maybe her sister does. But she doesn't care about them kids. Fuck them kids. Send them to the front lines.